I want to tell you a story of a story of a boy filled with disappointment. In elementary school, he was chubby and slow. Disappointment. He was never the fastest, never the smartest. Disappointment. He was picked on for his different hair because it was thick and curly. Disappointment. He got made fun of for wearing hand-me-down clothes instead of Reebok, Nike, and Adidas. Disappointment. Some days after school, all he wanted to do was play ball with his old man. His father, who was constantly tired from working in his steel mill. The boy was often overlooked by his father for a much-needed nap. Disappointment. When junior high came, the boy decided to be more of a loner because the way his peers made him feel. Disappointment. The boy became a football player, where he was still slower than most of the players. The coaches ended up putting him into less desirable positions. Disappointment. He began weightlifting with the rest of the football team. He couldn't lift near as much as some of the other players. Disappointment. Then came high school, where the boy became more outgoing. He asked out plenty of girls and got turned down more often than not. Disappointment. Finally, he ended up with a girlfriend, a relationship that took less time to end than it took to begin. Disappointment. His senior year, the boy's football career started to look up. He became a starter for the first 3 games. He got a concussion midway through this 3rd game and sat out the rest of the season. Disappointment. While in high school, the boy's grades dropped significantly, and he was barely able to graduate. Disappointment. Sorta. The boy became a young man when he was accepted into college, and things began to look up. He chose a field that was growing at the time. He was moving to the big city. Excitement. The big city took its toll as his car was broke into and towed several times. Disappointment. The field he chose had less jobs than expected, and his degree has never been used. Disappointment. After graduating, the young man took a chance and agreed to move in with a friend into an apartment that turned out to be unfinished. Disappointment. After several months of bouncing from house to house and friend to friend, he decided to move home. Now a grown man moving back with mom and dad. Disappointment. Between then and now, he's worked several jobs which have included retail and several factories. One job he quit for an opportunity to work with a friend who promised wealth. Disappointment. He has been laid off from 2 factories for a total of 22 months. Disappointment. In the middle of these jobs, he found the love of his life. Satisfaction. Returning home from his honeymoon to a house with a lightning-struck well, no running water, and plenty of other misfortune over the years, he kept thinking, disappointment. Today he is married with a little boy of his own. Still plenty of bills, but today he stands before you, not as a boy who's disappointed, but as a man who understands. I understand that kids can be cruel, that you can't always be good looking. I understand there are people everywhere that are smarter, faster, and stronger than I am. I understand why my father had to work so hard and what he was working for. I received a fortune cookie recently with a fortune that read, "If you want the rainbow, you have to learn to tolerate the rain." Well, I've been through several heavy storms, and I've seen and felt plenty of raindrops. But I would not trade my rainbow for anything in the world. Thank you.